It's Friday morning, just after 8 o'clock, and time for Friday Foodies. This is where we talk with our local restaurateurs and chefs about their history, their menus, their signature dishes, and the community that they're involved in here in Columbia. And very happy to have Dave Ellman, who's the owner of Fretboard Coffee.
Hey guys, how are you?
It's great to have you here, Dave. We missed you last week, but we're really grateful that you could come in and talk to us today.
Sure. You know who is always talking you up is Kevin Walsh. He just, he's another feature on the show, and he's constantly talking about Fretboard Coffee. Loves what you're doing down there with the music and. Really, there's so much to Fretboard Coffee.
Yeah, it's beyond just a coffee shop. I feel like I also say I have always felt like it is the Cheers of coffee shops.
Oh, yeah, that's kind of you to say. That's great.
Yeah, you walk in and everybody knows who you are and they know what you want to drink, or they don't because you want to try something new. So what do you think? I think one thing that's very interesting about and different and unique about Fretboard is the brewing methods, and you highlight those on your website, which is great that people could check that out.
Yeah, so the brewing methods kind of came about twofold. Before Fretboard opened and before my wife and I moved to Columbia, we spent time in DC and New York and briefly in Ireland. And so we, in that time, and I also traveled for sales because I used to be in IT sales. And so I traveled all over the place and tried to always find like the best and coolest coffee shops because I just love coffee and I love different people doing what they love and bringing that expertise. So one of the best coffee shops that I went to, it was on Long Island. This guy, Giorgio, who's this big personality, and he showed me the cold brew method with the drip towers that we use years and years ago, and I thought that was just so cool. And he explained why he went through that process. It's about extraction and having a lower acid cold brew that someone even with stomach trouble could still have coffee and have full flavor and intensity of that coffee. And I was very skeptical, like anyone would be when they hear a spiel. But we had this wonderful Ethiopian Nikise coffee. My wife and I still talk about it. And I mean, it was amazing. And we were just like going, all afternoon, just like silly, happy about this, how great this coffee was. And it didn't bother her stomach at all. And at the time, she was struggling with a little bit of that. So I was totally sold. And so when we opened Fretboard, we really wanted to bring together all of the different aspects of all the things we had seen at all these cool places, like that cold brew. And so when we opened, my goal was to have, half a dozen different ways to do coffee. So if you came in every day of the week, you could essentially have a different drink, even if it was the same bean or a different grind or, this, that, and the other. So, yeah.
So I went in the other day and I saw Liv Burney. She was working in there, which surprised me. Right, I ran into Liv again, and had the French press. It's at the top of the order, top of the list. There. What are some of the other ways that you prepare it besides the cold brew, the French press?
So there's cold brew for cold brew and cold coffee lovers. Then there's also the French press, like you mentioned. A lot of people like pour overs. Pour over has a little bit of a milder character. It doesn't quite hit you in the face quite as hard as a French press would. It's a little bit of a milder cup, and so the pour overs are really great. If you're having a couple of people together, a Chemex is like a larger version of that pour over, so that's done with this beautiful glassware Chemex. One of my most favorite and kind of the most unique is called the siphon pot.
It's so cool.
Yeah, the siphon pot's really neat because it's like a 2-chambered glass, almost like a Bunsen burner type chemistry experiment. And it deals with gas laws. So, like you heat something up, it expands, you cool it, it contracts. Like, remember high school?
Sure.
So
you've got to go get one just to watch it be made.
Oh, it's great. So what happens is like when you heat up the water, it heats and starts to boil. Well, the little bit of gas that's trapped in that vessel also expands. And so when the air expands, it pushes the water up into the top vessel. And so you get to kind of see it's great. You get to play with glass and fire. I mean, what's not to love?
And it makes a pot of coffee that is very low acid, right?
It's very mild. It's low acid, so it's somewhere between a pour over and a French press, and it makes enough for one person to have 2.5 cups of coffee, or it's perfect for you and a friend to split. So it's
We're
great.
talking with Dave Ellman. He's the owner of Fretboard Coffee down in the North Village Arts District. What do you think is the perfect snack to go with coffee? What do you like to
I like scones in particular. We have a Wishflower Bakery that's right next door to us. Marcy does a great job. I also I'm not necessarily a gluten-free or allergen-free person myself, but she has gluten-free toffee cookies that are as good as any other gluten-filled cookie that I've ever had. It's amazing. So, I mean, I like a cookie or scone with my coffee, personally.
Is there anything else that you carry at Fretboard that's for snacks kind of thing?
We have everything that Marcy bakes for us. She's kind of our baker. She's right next door to us, and I love that because it's one business kind of supporting another, and we're all about that in the North Village.
North Village Arts District is incredible, and I want to talk more about that in just a second. Right now, we're visiting with Dave Ellman, the owner of Fretboard Coffee in the North Village Arts District. Fretboard, that's an interesting name for a coffee shop. It has guitar implications.
Yeah, I didn't realize at the time that not everybody knows what a fretboard is. So I had to explain it to a great many people over the years, and but yeah, as you said, a fretboard is the part of the guitar that sticks out where you put your fingers for the chording. So when my wife and I were a lot younger and just kind of figuring out what we wanted to do, she was in grad school, and we thought, well, if someday you got a job as a professor in a cool college town, and like we didn't know yet, we were talking about Columbia, then maybe I could open a coffee shop there. And we had kind of sketched this out literally on like the back of a napkin.
Nice.
And we thought, well, we'll call it Fretboard Coffee, and we'll have live music, and because we were in an acoustic kind of folk band together, and for the longest time, it was hard to get gigs in New York because no one really in the '90s wanted it. Acoustic 2 or 3 acoustic guitars, 4-part harmony with a trumpet, no drummer. We weren't, you know what I mean, like we're not going to move beer the way that a rockin' band would, so we never really were able to get gigs at places, and we thought, well, wouldn't it be cool to have a coffee shop space that would have a large tie-in with music and local community and all that kind of stuff.
You've done it.
Yeah.
Achievement unlocked.
How often do you have musical acts at Fretboard?
Oh, a couple times a month. So we have the first Friday of every month is a first Friday as kind of celebration with all the whole North Village. So Orr Street Studios and Artlandish and ourselves and everybody kind of comes out. It's like a big block party. So first Friday is always live music at Fretboard and some of those other locations. Then we also have an open mic night the third Friday of the month. So basically every other week there's live music at Fretboard, and we're just starting out a thing called the Song Circle that's going to be the last Wednesday of the month. And that's basically a lot less formal. It's just kind of like, let's get in a circle and bring your acoustic instruments and we'll take turns playing songs. And that's the way I learned how to play acoustic guitar back in the day. And I don't do enough of that anymore. And I felt like it would be really fun to have a couple of people come out, and we've got a lot of people from the open mic night that come, but other people, just singer-songwriters that want to try something out or whatever. And we've only done it a couple times, but we're starting to do it the last Wednesday of every month.
You mentioned First Friday, and
sure.
That's such a great thing that happens there in the North Village Arts District. Talk a little bit about the community of the North Village Arts District and how being involved in it.
Oh, sure. I mean, the North Village Arts District is, we were just so lucky to have opened our shop there, a dozen years ago or so. We've been so welcomed by people like Lisa Bartlett, the owner of Artlandish, and Kenny Green, Monarch Jewelry, and just everybody. John Ott has helped kind of create this space where it's all these businesses and art spaces, and it becomes kind of like a creative sort of art crawl throughout the neighborhood. So you can wander from art gallery to art gallery and hear different kinds of music and have different kinds of food, and it's just it's a kind of place where like literally all of these businesses are working together for a common purpose. And I don't think any of us are necessarily getting crazy rich on it, but at the same time we're all having the greatest time, and it's about the community and about welcoming people in. And just, we've had so many folks flock to First Fridays where, it's great to see. And it's like, it's my favorite night of the month because I get to play sound guy, and I get, to have my hands on the soundboard and just get to watch as all these people come together. So it's really fun.
We've been talking with Dave Ellman, the owner of Fretboard Coffee in the North Village Arts District, Friday Foodies. Dave, thanks for joining us.
Thanks so much.
And talking about the business.
Yeah, man, just a fantastic place. I can't say enough good things about it. Everybody should go check it out.
Well, thanks. Yeah, come see us.
And next week when you hear...
I had a question.
Oh, yeah,
sure.
What do you think the biggest drink that you sell? Most popular?
Our cold brew is really popular, in particular because we make coffee ice.
Oh, right.
So that way, as your ice melts, your coffee doesn't get sadder and sadder and weaker.
It's so good. Go check out the Breaking Bad situation in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
The cold brew just looks like a science experiment in the corner there. You got to check it out.
Dave, we always like to ask at the end of our interviews for you to name somebody else, a business that you're thinking these people are really rocking.
I've really liked Bard Owl for a long time. I love all the staff. The food that they turn out is great. Their bartender is fantastic. Like their whole back bar is stunning. And can I give a second plug?
Sure. Yes, please.
Piggyback on it. It just reminds me also of so Emmett Russell of Russell Built is the guy who welded that whole big back bar together. And he kind of met them because he did my remodel when we remodeled, I don't know, 5-6 years ago. He helped kind of rebuild the bar for me, and he's a great friend and a really, really talented guy. So Emmett Russell, and then he helped make Bard Owl as great as they are. So it's just like this little family of like all these businesses that all overlap and kind of come and go in the same circles. So both of those would be kind of my go-to answer.
Awesome.
Dave Ellman, owner of Fretboard Coffee, thanks for joining us this morning, and